Liberty's echo, honoring the past, lighting the future. Hey guys, friends, neighbors, and veterans whose sacrifice breathes life into our flag, and every soul gathered under this free and open sky. Today is not just the 4th of July, it is the heartbeat of our story, a reminder that freedom is not inherited by accident. It is chosen, defended, and passed from trembling hands to steady hearts. On this day, 250 years ago, in a sweltering hall in Philadelphia, 56 men dipped their pens into destiny. They were not perfect, they were not without fear, but they had the audacity to believe that ordinary people could defy a mighty empire and declare that liberty was not the gift of kings, but the birthright of all. They pledged their lives, their fortunes, their sacred honor, not for certainty, but for the hope of a better world. Today, we gather not only to celebrate that hope, but to honor the risk, the resolve, and the reverence that lit its flame. We do not come with fireworks alone. We come bearing gratitude. We do not wave flags for spectacle, but in solemn pride. And we do not look to the past merely to remember. We look back so we may walk forward together. This is more than a holiday. It is a holy reminder that freedom cost, that freedom calls, and that today we still answer. 250 years ago, when those men stood in that room in Philadelphia, they signed not just a document, but a death sentence in the eyes of the British Crown. What followed was a war not just for land, but for the soul of an idea. The American Revolution wasn't won by professionals alone. It was fought in muddy fields and town squares, by farmers and blacksmiths, preachers and teenagers. It was carried forward with grit, desperation, and fire for freedom. "Give me liberty or give me death," cried Patrick Henry. Those words were not metaphor, they were prophecy. Let us remember names like Crispus Attucks, the first to fall at the Boston Massacre, or Sybil Ludington, the teenage girl who rode twice as far as Paul Revere to rally troops. The ink of our independence was mixed with the sweat and blood of the unknown and unthanked. Yet out of tyranny a nation was born. How did our ancestors celebrate the first Independence Day? With ringing bells, bonfires, and cannon fire? They read the Declaration aloud in town squares while tears filled the eyes of the newly free. Through the centuries, these traditions evolved from dusty parade routes to small-town picnics, fireworks bursting over city skylines, and quiet family gatherings that all whisper the same truth. We are free, and that freedom has never been free. Each generation is tasked not with just defending liberty, but defining it. And so we've marched for it, amended it, sung about it, fought for it, and lived it in 100 million different American ways. A soldier's story, Sergeant William Carney.
There have been nearly 3,500 military service members in the United States who have been awarded the prestigious Medal of Honor. Of these, only 88 of them have been African Americans. Civil War hero William Harvey Carney was one of them. Born as a slave in Norfolk, Virginia, on February 29, 1840, he decided on a career in the church, but the Civil War broke out before he could begin his ministry training. Instead, he decided that the best way for him to do God's work at that time was to join the Union Army and help free the slaves in the South. William enlisted in March of 1863 and was assigned to Company C, 54th Massachusetts Colored Infantry Regiment. On July 18, 1863, William and his regiment led a charge on Fort Wagner. The unit's color guard was shot during the battle, and William, being just a few feet away at the time, ran to grab the American flag from the falling soldier. William was seriously injured during his attempt to save the flag, being shot several times himself. Still, he refused to let the flag touch the ground and managed to keep it aloft while he crawled to the top of the hill, where the walls of Fort Wagner stood.
The year is 1863. The place, Fort Wagner, South Carolina. The war, the Civil War. Sergeant William Kearney of the 54th Massachusetts, the first African-American regiment raised in the North, storms the ramparts. Bullets fly like rain, and the flag bearer falls. Kearney, wounded once already, lifts the colors from the bloodied soil and presses forward. Shot again and again, he never lets the flag fall. With the stars and stripes held high, Kearney makes it back to Union lines and utters words that still echo. The old flag never touched the ground. He became the first Black American to receive the Medal of Honor. He reminds us that patriotism is not inherited. It is proven. It is paid for with lives, with courage and conviction. Our Constitution, drafted 11 years after the Declaration, was a beginning, not a finish line. Each amendment, each movement, every demand for justice and equality is part of that same thread pulled from July 4, 1776. We faced our darkness, civil war, segregation, inequality, but always we've returned to our founding idea that liberty belongs to all. From Susan B. Anthony to Martin Luther King Jr., from Stonewall to Selma, July 4th has become more than a national birthday. It is a mirror we hold to ourselves, asking, are we still worthy of the freedom we celebrate? And so today, let us not retreat into nostalgia. Let us lean forward. Let us vote like it matters. Teach our children like truth still reigns, and serve one another without being asked. And love our country not just with words, but with work. From Lexington and Concord to Normandy and Fallujah. From sea to shining sea, liberty has been whispered, shouted, mourned, and defended. We have our flaws, but we have never lacked heart. Today, let us lift our voices as they did in 1776, not just in celebration, but in dedication to one another, to truth, to the pursuit of justice, to the flag that still waves over us, not as a banner of perfection, but of progress. So light the fireworks, sing the anthems, but above all, live the meaning of this day. And may liberty's echo never fade. God bless you, God bless our troops, and may God forever bless the United States of America. Happy 4th of July.